So hello YouTube, I hope you guys are doing great. It's CalFX here and I'm back with another market outlook series. So I hope you guys had an incredible week. I mean, me personally, I had an incredible week. This has just been a great month so far. We just ended the second week of July. We're actually going into the third week. So I just hope you guys are actually having a blast. I mean, there has been incredible moves in the market so far. And on the Discord, I mean, there has been a lot of progress. And I just quickly wanted to announce that we have a different membership. So besides the lifetime, because that's what I was usually only doing. So now we have the 2 months membership where you will have access to everything, the mentorship, the signals, the whole course, everything for just 2 months. So if you guys are interested, feel free to let me know. My content is in the description below. The link to the Telegram, the free Telegram group is also there. So let's hop right into the outlook. So USD, we can start from the daily time frame, but let's go into the monthly time frame. So on the monthly time frame, if you could quickly look at it, price actually tapped this yearly bullish order block. So the whole high time frame intention, at least from the yearly perspective, is bullish, is to see price actually continue all the way to the upside. But if we look at the structure on the monthly, we can see that the swing structure is still bearish, right? Because we just had this previous low, had this high, and then this low, and price just is still reacting, is still trading within this monthly range. Now, if we look at, if I quickly use the Fibonacci zone from this low all the way to the previous high, we can see that price actually is trading above the 50%, which usually is what we consider the premium zone for sales, right? So price actually just came into this monthly zone. We can actually look into this supply zone right here, this week right here, which is where price actually tapped, right? So if you drop down, for example, to the daily time frame, especially as an intraday, it's very important to look at what the daily is doing. So we can see that the daily structure is still heavily bullish, right? Price actually tapped into this monthly supply zone. Structure is bullish, so we have this order block sitting below. Now, price actually, I believe, is going to have some sort of reaction in this supply zone, and we're actually expecting to see a pullback towards this daily demand zone, and then we have that continuation to the upside. Now, once price comes to my daily or weekly, what am I expecting? Well, as an intraday trader, I'm expecting to see a 4-hour change of character to the downside. So if I come down, for example, to 4-hour, price still is bullish right here. Up to this point, price is still bullish. We don't have yet that bearish sign, that first sign of bearish intention, because we need that 4-hour change of character, at least so we can ride the daily pullback all the way down to this order block. We need that 4-hour change of character. So price is still pushing all the way to the upside. We don't have any sign of bearish reversal right now. Price is just continue to push all the way to the upside. So one thing that I'm going to be waiting for on EURUSD is to 4-hour to give me that bearish, that change of character to the downside. That would be a great sign that the daily is ready to do a pullback, right? So we need that 4-hour change of character, and then we'll wait for that M15 change of character as well, so we can sell all the way down to the daily, and then we have that continuation to the upside. Or if price is not going to go all the way to the upside, it just have this monthly supply zone, so we'll just wait for price to give us also that 4-hour change of character so we can sell all the way down, right? So that's it for EURUSD. Let's move to the next pair. Now, Aussie dollar, we can quickly look at the monthly time frame just to understand the overall picture on Aussie dollar. And I think it's pretty clear because we just had this break of structure, mitigation at the extremity of this previous high, and now we're seeing price coming down. So our expectation is to see price to push all the way down, take out this previous low, and maintain the bearish order flow. That's it on the monthly time frame. Let's drop down to the weekly time frame. And we can clearly see that the structure, because we're still trading within that monthly bearish range, we can see that the weekly is also bearish. We just had this break, price came to the extreme, change of character, and now price is coming to this point of interest. We just came to this point of interest. So now this right here was refined on the daily time frame. So if I drop down to the daily, we can see we have this zone right here, this daily zone. So this is the zone where we actually had this huge reaction right here to the downside. So if I drop down, for example, to 4-hour time frame, we can see that we had a change of character once price tapped this daily supply zone, and the change of character happened right here, right? This was that swing low that was broken with a body right there. So price actually just did this huge comeback right here into the extremity of this previous structure high. So right, so it just was taking all this liquidity, push all the way to the upside. So we're still expecting to see price from this point drop all the way down and maintain that overall bearish order flow that we've seen on the monthly as well as on the weekly. So price came here. So this actually was the extremity of this 4-hour zone. So usually once price comes to my 4-hour zone, I like to wait for M15 change of character, right? So price came into our point of interest. So if we look at what went on at this particular point, we can actually just use the 10 seconds quickly. And we can see that once 10 minutes, excuse me. So we have price tapped the 4-hour. We just had this nice 10-minute change of character right here. So now what is the order block? It's sitting right here, right? So we can see that, okay, price pushed all the way, right? Price gave the change of character, came, respected that zone, it failed to break above, and is now pushing all the way to the downside. So if we just monitor the price action here, we can see that price actually has turned bearish also on the M15, and this is what we're waiting for to sell, right? So we had this major break of structure, price pulled back, at least gave a 50% retrace before it pushed back again, and we can see that right here. If I just delete this one, we had another break of structure. Price came back perfectly, this order block right here, and it pushed to the downside. So we can see price actually just continuing to break structures right here. Ended up taking this major low as well. Right here, we just had this nice break of structure. So I'm still expecting to see price actually coming up to this because we have imbalances sitting above right here. So I'm expecting to see price actually coming all the way up, right, to this zone, and then we can sell all the way down to take out that weekly previous low, right? So that's it for Aussie dollar. Let's move to the next. So now GU, we can start from the monthly time frame because the monthly time frame intention, I mean, is just absolutely clear. So let me just, I mean, if we look at what's going on here, is that we had this break of structure, we had the mitigation, then we had the second break. This actually was the first attempt, but what happened? Price failed to close above. That was a sign that the bearish sentiment in the market was in depletion. That's why we had this reaction to the upside. But what happened? Price also failed to go above, right? So price then came again to confirm that bearish order flow, that the bears are still in charge. So that's when we had the body closure right here. So now price just came into this supply zone right here, right? Which is exactly what we wanted to see. Price just tapped this supply zone. So now we're expecting to see price give us the confirmations and continue the move to drop and continue the bearish move, so we can possibly take out this monthly low, right? That's the overall outlook of the pound against the dollar. So price just tapped this monthly supply. We drop down to the daily time frame. We want to understand what's going on the daily. So we can see that on the daily, the structure is still bullish right here. We had the break, price came to the extreme, mitigation, break again, came back to this bearish order block, push all the way to the upside, right? So if we look at the structure on the daily is still bullish. So we shouldn't be looking for sales all the way down. Long-term sales right now is not valid because the structure is still bullish. But what we can do is we can ride the daily pullback, right? I believe we have this point of interest right here, which was the decisional one, and we also have this one sitting down right here. So this is just the daily pull order blocks that we have. So what we can do is wait for 4 hours to change to give us that bearish order flow, so we can at least ride the daily pullback. In case price decides to continue to push all the way up, we can take the trade. But as of now, price just tapped at a supply zone, so we need to see at least a 4 hour change of character. So if I drop down to 4 hours, the structure is still overall bullish. We don't have any change of, any change of structure right here. The structure is still bullish. If we go to M15, we can see that we have a different story on the M15. So quickly, Okay, so we can see that we had this break of structure to the upside, and we had this order block that was responsible for it, right? So very, very important to watch the price action right here. So we can see that this right here was the break of structure right here on the M15. We can see the price came back into the POI, pushed all the way to the upside. What happened? It failed to close above. So this was the bulls actually losing strength at this particular point. So now we're seeing that price actually is just about to take out this low right here. It actually took this low right here. This low was the mitigation of the order block, was supposed to take out the high, but what happened? It failed to do its job and it was liquidated. So we have the break of structure right here. So this was a nice break of structure. So we will probably wait to see if price is going to have some sort of reaction here. If I go to 10 minutes time frame, I believe we have something very interesting right here at this zone right here. So I believe price may want to use all of this right here as inducement, right? Because there will be a lot of people setting orders here. So we may see price actually push all the way up, grabbing that liquidity, and then we have that push to the downside. So we can at least ride the daily pull back towards its order block, because the daily is still bullish, right? Very important to consider. So that's it for GU. Let's move to the next pair. Now, New Zealand dollar, similarly to Aussie dollar, we also have the same bearish structure, right? The same structure, which is heavily bearish. We have the break of structure, mitigation, second break. Price came to the extremity of the previous high. We expecting price to take out this low and maintain the bearish order flow on the monthly, right? So let's see what's going on within this monthly range high and range low. We drop down to the weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, we can clearly see that price actually tapped this extremity right here. Then what happened? Price failed to close above, bullish sentiment in depletion, boom, change of character to the downside. Then we had the second break, but what happened is price is actually coming to the extreme right here. This very, very, very clean order block setting above is using this as inducement, grab, just swept liquidity, and we expect price to push all the way down. So if I come down to the daily time frame, you guys can see the price came to this wall zone right here. Okay, this is very important. That's the wall zone. We can see that we use these relative equal highs as inducement, came, and we expect to see this huge drop all the way to the downside. At least we're trying to target this daily previous low for another break of structure till we take out that weekly and then the monthly. So once price comes to my daily, I like to wait for price to give me that hourly change of character, right? Which is the 4 hour. So if we look at the structure on the 4 hour is still bullish, right? I mean, the swing structure is still sitting below, but that doesn't mean we can't ride the 4 hour pullback, right? Because we still have a lot of imbalances right here. This is the great thing about understanding market structure, right? So I actually link the video right here for you guys to watch. Very important, because we can ride the pullbacks right here, right? Because for some people to wait for price to take out this 4 hour low, I mean, it's gonna take forever, right? But we can ride the pullback. So how do we ride the 4 hour pullback? We wait for M15. So let's drop down to M15. Let's understand what's going on in M15 real quick. So let me just zoom in a little bit, push this order block right here. So perfect. So let's just look at M30. I think M30, yes, it's much cleaner. So we can see that on the M30, right, price actually had broken structure finally right here with the body, right? And what was responsible for that? It was this swing low right here. So we can see that price took out this swing low at this particular point right here. So that's where we had the break of structure right there. So what is the order block? It's sitting right here, right? We have this order block, and we can say that, okay, we also have this one at the extreme right here, right? I really don't know if price will come all the way up there, but I believe price will have a nice reaction right here, because this actually was the decisional buy before this huge sell that went on to take out the structure low. So what I'm expecting in Aussie dollar is for price to pull back all the way to this supply zone, and then we can look for sales at least to ride the daily pullback, right? Because we understand that the daily structure, the 4 hour is still bullish, right? So we still have a lot of imbalances. So as an intraday trader, we can actually wait for price to come to this one before we drop down to 1 minute time frame, look for our confirmations, and we can ride this 4 hour pullback right here, right? This is the 4-hour pullback. We're trying to correct all these imbalances sitting below right here. And we also have in confidence that the price actually has tapped the supply zone, major supply zone. So I think it's valid to us at least look for sales just to correct the imbalances before we actually wait for that major 4-hour change of candle. So that's it for New Zealand dollar. Let's move to the next pair. Now UJ is quite easy to see what's the intention. I mean, if we look at the weekly, we can see the price had this break, pull back, second break, use this low as inducement. So we can see the price took out this low, destructional liquidity, right, and then pushed. So once price tapped our weekly, we drop down to the daily time frame because we want to see that daily change of character, right? So price came here, gave us the daily change of character, mitigation, the second break of structure all the way to the upside. Now there is a lot of imbalances that price left right here. So what we're expecting to see is price to pull back all the way down to this order block, and then we have that continuation to the upside. That's it on the daily, right? So as an intraday, how do we ride this bearish order flow all the way down to our bullish order block? Because you can just decide, okay, I'm going to wait for price to come. That's totally fine. Once price comes to your daily, wait for 4-hour change of character. But we can also ride this bearish order flow all the way down here, especially as an intraday scalper, and then we continue the move to the upside once price reaches our point of interest. So we can do that by dropping down to 30 minutes time frame. So if we look at what's going on the 30 minutes is that, I mean, price is overall super bearish right here. I mean, all high time frames here are bearish. We can see that we had this break of structure right here. This is the M30. Then price had a minor pullback. So I can still consider that there is a point of interest probably sitting right here at the top, right here. So that's a point of interest. But also if we look down, for example, if we drop down to M15, right, we can see the price also tapped this one right here, right, because price actually pushed, then created this pullback, then the break of structure, price just came here. You can see this huge reaction right here, very significant reaction here, right? So price just gave this reaction at the M15. If we look at the 10 minutes time frame, we can see that we had this beautiful change of character right here, and price is reacting, right? So we're actually seeing this huge bearish candle coming right after it mitigated that daily change of character. So we can see that this right here was the break of structure, the M10. So we're expecting what price to do to continue to push all the way down. So once the market opens, we can still look for selling opportunities all the way down. Or if price has to come to the extreme, we'll also look for selling opportunities on lower time frame to sell all the way down to our daily demand zone right here, right? That's how we establish the higher time frame intention, right? So we're expecting price to come to daily, and then we'll continue the bullish move to the upside. So that's it for UJ. Let's move to the last pair. So the last pair of the day is going to be gold, and gold is quite simple to see what's going on. I mean, if we look at the weekly time frame, we can see that, I mean, previously we had this break, mitigation, second break, price came to the extreme, grabbed all this liquidity right here and pushed immediately to the upside. So now what happened is that once price tapped this monthly, right, or we can see weekly demand zone, it gave us this weekly change of character, mitigation, second break. Now we have relative equal highs sitting above, so we're expecting to see price taking out these highs. But for that price, actually, we're expecting price to come after this break of structure. We're expecting price to come to this demand zone right here, and then we have that continuation to the upside to grab these previous highs right here. So that's on the weekly, right? We had the break, we're expecting price to come down to this order block. So what do? Actually, when we have a weekly structure, right, to the upside, we want to have daily bearish order flow. The bearish order flow on the daily signifies that, okay, the weekly is doing a pullback towards its order block, and possibly we have the continuation to the upside. So we drop down to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, we can clearly see that the structure right here is bearish, right? We had this nice first we had this change of character right here, right? The change of character, price pull back, break, mitigation, second break. Price just tapped at this daily supply zone right here. So the wall zone is this one right here. but I actually ended up refining this point of interest on the 4 hour. So let me go to 4 hour time frame. So on the 4 hour, you guys can clearly see this very clean candle right here, very clean order block sitting right there. So once price, we can see the reaction the price has had at that point of interest. So once price comes to my 4 hour supply zone, you guys already know we need to wait for that M15 or M30 change of character, right? So let me go to M30 real quick. And if we look at the M30, right, if I read the structure, we can see that we had the structure high, then the structure low, and then price made this high, right? We actually considering body breaks, right? We can see the price here actually was failing to close above, right? The bullish sentiment was in depletion at that moment. So we can see that, okay, if I consider this to be that low, we can see the price actually had broken, but guess what happened? It broke structure and immediately had an aggressive in, right? So we had just in and out right there. That this is a V-shaped recovery. Usually if you go to 1 hour, that's a week. I think maybe on the 2 hours, that's right. So on the 2 hours, we didn't have no body break right here, right? So it's very important. What I still want to see is price to give me a very clean confirmation right here on the hourly, right? So I can consider this to be okay, the break of structure, right? Because I believe this was the last high that price attempted to break right here. So let's just consider that this was the liquidity grab right here. And so let me just see, that was the sweep, right? That was the sweep on gold. This was the low that attempted to break, it failed, got liquidated. So we can see that, okay, price just came into this supply zone right here. So we can see the reaction here is price just coming back regularly, right, to attempting to break. So the next break I want to see is this one right here, right? I want to see body closure, right, on this previous structure low. So we had the mitigation of the change of character, and now we're expecting to see price to take out the previous low and just continue that bearish order flow all the way down. So the idea is to sell all the way down to that weekly demand zone that we just saw previously, and then we continue to move to the upside. So that's it, guys, for the outlook. I hope I made the point clear right here. If you guys enjoyed the video, just smash the like button for me, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and remember we have a new membership on the mentorship. So if you're interested, feel free to let me know. My contact is on the description below, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one.